live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
The woman who fell through the ice on the Rock River is identified. UW Health says she was a valued physician at Swedes for 26 years. License plate fees are set to drop for some. We share who qualifies. Plus, snow tubers are turned away from a popular Rockford attraction. The reason opening day at Snow Park Hills at Alpine Hills had to be put on hold. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy. Eric Wilson is off tonight. We now know the name of the woman who died after falling through the ice on the Rock River. She's been identified as Billy Lynn. The 54-year-old died Friday. This happened around 10 a.m. in Rock Township, just northwest of Highway 51 and Town Line Road. Lynn fell through the ice and could not be seen. Several area dive teams were brought in to search. It took 5 hours to locate her body under the ice. According to the Rock County Medical Examiner, Lynn drowned. Her death is still under investigation. Lynn was a physician at Swedish American in Rockford for 26 years. In a statement, UW Health said, quote, "She touched many lives in our health system and in our community. We are devastated by this loss and offer our deepest condolences to her family, friends, and colleagues during this time of unimaginable grief." You can find information about memorial services at mystateline.com. A teenager is fighting for their life after a snowmobile crash. Rock County sheriffs were called to County Highway H in the town of Newark to reports of a crash. A 16-year-old was driving the snowmobile when they were ejected. The teen was taken to a local hospital with serious injuries. The crash is under investigation. We are awaiting a judge's ruling on Illinois' controversial Safety Act. A new amendment contains a provision which eliminates cash bail. It's set to take effect New Year's Day, but more than 60 prosecutors and sheriffs across the state filed legal challenges. They claim it violates separation of powers and improperly amends the state constitution. A Kankakee County judge has been hearing arguments and said he would make his ruling today. We'll bring you that ruling as soon as it comes down on air or our website, mystateline.com. At the start of the new year, license plate fees will drop for low-income elderly people and disabled people. It's part of an initiative from the state to help those on a fixed income. For people over the age of 65 that meet certain income requirements, the annual fee will drop from $24 to $10 if the person applies. The application will require some identifying information, including Social Security, proof of income, and proof of disability. A big change coming to classrooms across Illinois starting next week. On January 1st, college students studying education can fill in as substitutes while they're still in school themselves. The idea is to help ease the shortage of subs across the state. College students need at least 90 credit hours before they can get into a classroom of their own. Administrators say it's a win-win for both students and school districts. The new year is right around the corner, and for some, that will mean an increase on their next paycheck. Our Nicole Delgado spoke to a local restaurant owner about the state minimum wage increase. Nicole, what did he have to say?
That's right, Mimi. Starting January 1st, the minimum wage in Illinois will raise to $13 an hour. Businesses have been implementing this gradual increase every year.
As a small business owner, that's one of the biggest struggles, is trying to navigate, still pay the wages and pay the cost of the goods being bought.
Matt Inzikowski has been in the restaurant business for over 25 years, owning 3 restaurants and a food truck. Matt says the workers deserve the wage increase, but it makes the cost of products go up too.
Although people will be making more money, the cost of the items that they're buying are going to go up probably about the same pace.
Server and bartender Heather Scott says she thinks the increase is a good thing for workers to have a fair wage and a better standard of living.
I don't see a downside to the whole thing, really. I can't think of one thing that would be bad.
Heather does hope this increase will attract more workers.
My hope is that with it going up, we can actually get some staff and keep them, because the last couple of years have been rough with COVID and everything. So keeping staff in here and other restaurants as well with the minimum wage going up.
By law, minimum wage workers who regularly earn tips will increase to $7.80 an hour. Workers under the age of 18 who work fewer than 650 hours a year will earn a minimum wage of $10.50 per hour in the new year. Matt says his employees start over the minimum wage limit.
All of our employees get paid higher than minimum wage, so I don't foresee like an instant menu increase.
This increase is all to bring the minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2025. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Nicole. There may be some relief for gas prices heading into the new year. That's according to Gas Buddy's 2023 Fuel Outlook. The yearly national average price of gas next year is forecast to drop nearly 50 cents per gallon compared to 2022. Gas Buddy reports continuing improvement in refinery capacity will help alleviate gasoline and diesel prices, though high levels of uncertainty remain due to Russia's ongoing war on Ukraine and continuing economic concerns. Gas Buddy analysts say a $4 national average remains possible ahead of and during the summer driving season. Fans of a winter State Line staple will have to wait a little longer. Opening day at the snow park at Alpine Hills has been pushed back. We're told extra maintenance and repairs are blamed. The plan is now to open Thursday. Crews having been hard at work creating snow. There's not enough snow yet for snowboarding or skiing, but the tubing hills will be ready. Staff say they worked all day to make sure that they open tomorrow.
It is always just nice on the first day to get the people coming in that, you know, the big fans of the snow park that have been coming out here for years that are always happy to be on the hill as early as they can, and we try to do everything we can to make sure that we have that for them. And so it's always a little disappointing when things don't quite work out, but we're hopeful that everyone's going to be happy and ready to go for opening day, hopefully tomorrow.
The Family Fun spot will open for the rest of winter break, which is through January 1st. The Mega Millions lottery jackpot just grew to $640 million. No one picked all of the winning numbers last night. There hasn't been a big winner since October 14th. The winning numbers last night were 9, 13, 36, 59, 61, and the Mega Ball 11. The next drawing is Friday. Southwest Airlines scrubbed even more flights today, leaving thousands of passengers stranded across the U.S. Now, federal investigators say they're looking into why the airline's operations went into almost total collapse. Washington correspondent Trevor Shirley has more on the investigation.
As of Wednesday, government officials say the average cancellation rate for most U.S. airlines is around 5%. That's a big improvement after last week's winter blast.
But then you have Southwest Airlines. They are in what I can only describe as a catastrophic situation.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says between 60 and 70% of Southwest flights remain canceled.
And I've spoken with the airline's executives to remind them of their responsibilities to customers.
Secretary Buttigieg hopes the federal government won't have to force Southwest to uphold its own customer service commitments.
If that's what it takes, of course we're ready to do it.
Buttigieg says those commitments from Southwest include full cash refunds and compensating stranded passengers for things like food and hotels.
Frankly, I'm looking for them to go above and beyond that. Their CEO pledged to me that that is exactly what they're doing.
Southwest Airlines CEO Bob Jordan says the airline was forced to cut back on service to catch up.
We're focused on safely getting all of the pieces back into position to end this rolling struggle.
The Senate Commerce Committee says it also plans to investigate the Southwest meltdown when Congress returns in 2023.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, today felt almost like spring, right? With our temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s compared to the cold we've been at here for the last several days. In fact, the last 12 days have been sitting below that 32-degree mark. We went from 23 yesterday. That was actually achieved just before midnight last night, up to 42 this afternoon. Of course, we can't forget, or maybe we do want to forget, that 2 below we only achieved there for for Friday afternoon. It's been on a slow climb ever since then. Now, as far as our temperatures go, it's been since December 15th when our number was last above freezing, 32. December 14th when that temperature was up above 40 degrees. We made it up to 42 today, and we continue with that warming trend over the next several days. Our last 7-day stretch, we had an average high temperature of just 7.9 degrees. That is cold. Within the month of December, since 1990, there have only been 3 years, 2000, 2016, and 2017, that actually had a colder 7-day stretch. So that has been quite a not a record or any kind of statement, weather statement that we really want to make, right? When you're talking about that cold, we want to see those temperatures at least warm. And that warming trend, something that'll go with us here through the weekend. Southerly winds from the south and southeast at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. We've been a little gusty at times, 25 to 30 mile per hour wind, and that breeze will stay with us as we go through the night. We're at 41 in Rockford, Rochelle, 38 in Freeport. A little bit of a wind chill factor in some spots, that wind chill down about 10 degrees cooler than what the actual air temperature sits. We're at 42 right now. Our weather watcher Terry checking in here in Genoa currently has a southerly wind at about 16 miles per hour. No rain, no snow today, and any precipitation that comes down within the next 7 days going to stay in the liquid form with those temperatures up above freezing. As I mentioned, the wind, that is something that is going to stay with us not only through the night tonight, but still stays breezy into the afternoon tomorrow. Wind direction will continue from the south, but it'll shift a little more to the west late tomorrow night into Friday. Wind speeds will come down. That's with a cold front that passes through, but the air mass associated with that cold front more from the Pacific rather than the true Arctic air mass we had late last week. So we will not see a drop in our temperatures like we did just within a week's time. We've melted away a lot of that snow. In some spots, we've had more brown show than snow actually on the ground. This image last night was covered with snow, but you see a lot of that has melted away except for those bigger piles. Now to the north and northwest, there is still that snow on the ground. Had some higher snowfall amounts there over the last week or so, but by this time tomorrow night, if not a little later, majority of that is going to be all gone, and by the time rain showers move in here by early next week, we will be dealing with no snow cover on the ground. 36, that's where I think we'll dip to just before midnight, but then our temperatures are actually going to rise going into the day tomorrow. I do think we have a good chance of making it into the low 50s for tomorrow afternoon, especially as we continue to get rid of a lot of that snow cover, and a lot of that melting is actually going to take place tonight with those numbers staying up above freezing. Our dew point numbers are going to go up as well, and that's a really efficient way of melting away a lot of that snow. Cloud cover also on the increase, so what that means for tomorrow, we're not going to see much sunshine. Mostly cloudy skies. Despite that, though, I do believe our temperatures should make it to at least 50. Now, Futurecast wants to get us into the mid and even upper 50s in a couple of spots. I think that's going to be a little hard to be achieved during that time, but definitely close to that 50-degree mark, if not low 50s for tomorrow afternoon. Small chance that we may see a little drizzle coming in with that, and then some showers mostly to our east and southeast on Friday. Weekend looks pretty dry and fairly uneventful as far as the weather's concerned. Low 40s for Saturday and Sunday. Overnight lows dropping into the low 30s. We'll see those numbers rise again. I think we've got a better chance for some heavier rainfall and maybe even a few thunderstorms there, Mimi, Monday night into next Tuesday.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
Well, after spending a week on the road, the Ice Hogs are ready to take the ice again at the BMO tonight. They'll host one of their division rivals, the Grand Rapids Griffins. The Ice Hogs have had good success against the Griffins so far this season. They played them twice and won both times big by scores of 5-1 and 4-1. Both of those games, though, were back in early November. The Griffins are only in 6th place in the Central Division. The Ice Hogs are a couple notches ahead in 4th. It is a 7 p.m. start time tonight. Justin Fields has a bad shoulder and a sore foot, but sitting out the Bears' final 2 games isn't even a consideration for Fields. He's a competitor. He wants to be out there. He wants to keep growing, and he wants to end this losing streak before the season ends.
I think, winning this week and winning the last week of the season, it'd be great momentum going into the off season. So, I think it's really just it just feel good, ending the game with the win because we're on a 8-game losing streak or something like that.
8 is correct. Well, in Green Bay, it's all hands on deck for the Packers. Anybody who's close to being able to play Sunday will play. The Packers have to beat the Vikings or their playoff hopes will be in peril. Matt LaFleur has been impressed with the Vikings' ability to pull out dramatic wins from the jaws of defeat.
They definitely have shown the resiliency it takes to play in this league. And I mean, anytime you're down 33-0 and you find a way to come back, I think that says all that it needs to. And they've got great players, obviously.
Well, the Fighting Illini football team got a chance to survey where it'll be playing on Monday in the ReliaQuest Bowl, Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. That's Tom Brady's house, the home of the Buccaneers. The Illini have 18 players on their roster from Florida, including 7 starters on their defense. So chances are some of these guys have already experienced Raymond James Stadium. Odds are a lot of people are going to be betting on that game and all the other football action that will play out over the next week. A report by Variety says folks in this country gambled $80 billion in online sports betting this year. Most of the action was on the NFL playoffs in January and February. The next most popular sporting event to wager on was the NCAA basketball tournament.
First Warn Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. Pretty quiet as our skies will stay dry but cloudy. A little more cloud cover for the afternoon tomorrow as temperatures climb into the upper 40s and low 50s. We still keep that with the wind, but we are going to see more cloud cover during the afternoon. Maybe a small chance for a little drizzle out there late in the day, and then some showers mostly to the east and southeast for both Thursday night and Friday. We'll see a little drop in temperatures for Friday afternoon as a cold front comes in, but the numbers warm back into the 40s for the weekend and then back up by early next week.
Wow, what a huge change from last week. All right, thanks, Candace. And thanks for watching. Have a good evening.